Richard from Richard's Guitars in Stratford-on-Avon, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Gordon Smith guitars. It's a guitar that I have sold for 22 years. It was the first guitar that it was the first brand that caught my eye in literally when I started in '95, and I was brought in what I didn't realise, but it was it was called the Gypsy at that time. So a thick-bodied single pickup in a tobacco burst finish, and it was staggering, really high quality. I knew it was a special guitar, and but it only had one pickup and it had a coil tap, but you could just tell that it was something special. And I researched it, and in those days there wasn't any internet, it was just literally starting up, but I don't think you could certainly research anything online at that time. But I managed to dig around and found out the Gordon Smith guitars were made in Partington in Northampton. Not Northampton, Partington in Manchester. Northampton is where they are made now. So and that was really the beginning of my love affair with Gordon Smith guitars. And Gordon Smith was something I wanted to champion throughout the growth of my business. It always surprised me and concerned me that you'd have such wonderful things going on and nobody knowing about them. And to a degree, it's pretty much the same 22 years later. To a degree, not quite the same, but it is extraordinary that such fascinating things can be happening. And as guitar players, we just don't know they're there. Very often, things of real quality and real interest are not advertised as widely. There's reasons for that. With demand, supply is generally more limited, so they don't have the volume to warrant large advertising. If you don't have large adverts, you get less reviews. If you've got less reviews and less advertising, your mainstream stores don't really want to sell the product because they're not really interested in educating you or helping you find a quality product. They're there to reinforce what you've learnt in Guitarist magazine. So you'll see your shops full of Fenders and Gibsons and Ibanez, and that's why most high street shops, you can pretty much guess what you're going to see before you go in. So Gordon Smith, let me show you just this. I'm going to give you I'm not going to do any great, I just want to show you the kind of concept of what you get these days for your money. So this one is called a GS2 Deluxe. Okay, so this is a GS2 Deluxe. It's handmade in Northampton, in the UK, obviously. You can go and meet the guys. They're an absolutely lovely bunch of people. You literally can make an appointment, walk in, see the guitars being produced, which is in its own way is an incredible concept that for me makes them special straight away. But the quality has got to be there. So since Auden took over nearly 2 years ago, the quality of Gordon Smith guitars has rocketed through the roof. And I want to just maybe give you some examples of this about pre-Gordon Smith, well, pre-Auden and post-Auden. One of the details you can see is in the finish. Now this has got a absolutely beautiful flame top. It's just a veneer, so it is really cosmetic, but it makes the guitar clearly look beautiful. One of the great interesting things is that I haven't got it here. I wish I should have brought some and shown you, but I'm now buying my own veneers, and this is the great thing. You can just, I can, anyone can really, buy your own veneer and supply it to the guys at Gordon Smith. I shouldn't really say that because they might get really fed up with people bringing dodgy bits of veneer and trying to make guitars out of them. So don't take it as read. You can do that. But I'm certainly finding my own high quality veneers and asking them to fit them on. So we're going to come up with some really stunning guitars in future months. So this is one particular veneer that they've supplied, one lucky customer. But if you look at the actual finish of the guitar, the way, the cleanliness of, how it's been applied, that is, I believe, that's Mark's responsibility. A chap called Mark, and Mark, I believe, was in the automobile industry before, spraying cars. So you can imagine just how good quality you need to be doing to make a car look nice. So this is now being this is being applied to production of guitars. So you have flawless finishing, which that was never a concept of Gordon Smith guitars before. You'd kind of accept some of the issues because they were built to a price. They were what I'd call workmanlike quality. If the geometry of a guitar is there, the nuts and bolts, it's got something about it that's kind of unique anyway. It's a player's machine, and very often you'd overlook certain cosmetic issues, and because they were built to a price. Whereas what's happened now with Auden taking over Gordon Smith, they're getting the two together, real high quality. And I mean, I'll try and find an issue with this guitar, but I'll struggle. So this is the finishing detail. And what have we got on this one? I'm presuming, I think they will use up to 2 pieces on the back. But that potential, from first glance, that looks like a one-piece mahogany back. Okay, one solid piece of mahogany. And what's that bit in the middle? Is that a joint? No, that's a joint, isn't it? Just 2. Although it's done really, really well, I think that's 2 pieces from the grain there, I think. Anyway, 1 or 2 pieces. In the past, you would see multiple pieces of wood here. John was a great reuser of wood and very resourceful, and he would get bits, and sometimes you might see this edge bit here would have a whole bit, or the edge of a horn would be a separate piece of wood. Now that's fine. You're building something to a particular price and thinking of the actual function and form. But Auden wants to take it to a new level, so they're looking at, I believe, they're generally 2 pieces on the back on mahogany. Now look at this neck. Fretboard. This fretboard has an absolutely gorgeous piece of flame maple on it. Absolutely beautiful. I'll try and get it in the light so you can see it. There you go. Whee! Absolutely lovely. That's one beautiful, beautiful maple board and neck. So again, very, very pretty. Twin coil taps. Then what you've got down here is very important. The headstock. Right, now then, what you'll see here is one piece. Again, everything is cut from one piece. There used to be, now they have this sort of strengthening bit here, but basically you've got one join here, and then the rest, the headstock is all one piece. If you look at, now what you'd have had before there would have been a combination of bits glued on. So very often you'd have had 2 strips of wood down here, one across the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Very often a headstock would be made of about 4 pieces of wood, whereas now it's just one piece. So it's much neater and tidier. Details like the cosmetics, the logo, for example. Now, when you see the logo on the current Gordon Smiths, or how they are now, they're beautifully finished. I was always getting so frustrated when I would receive a Gordon Smith where even the decal might look like a bit like a sticker stuck on. But didn't always, but sometimes it did, and it'd be frustrating. So beautiful finishing, fantastic quality. Now the fretboard, look at this. This is another new feature. This is the thin neck, okay? So this is a little bit more like your Ibanez. So you've got a couple of different options, thick and thin, on the fret, on the neck. I'm not sure what setting I'm on here. So I'm want to clean this out. Let's give it a bit of whiz. So yeah, so thinner boards. You've got a more rock guitar feel. So a nice fast. I mean, if I can do the old. The old rock guitar stuff. That kind of stuff. It's a really, really fast board that makes you fast. So it's good fast stuff. So really, really great for rock guitar, but it still has all the kind of. It's still got all the kind of feel and look and design, so you can go between rock and blues. You've got your coil taps. So this is all your normal stuff. I don't want to go into a sort of a sales pitch on features and things of this particular guitar, but needless to say, if I go clean that off, take the tone out, there we go, back to that sort of nice warm sound. Plays beautifully, really super fast neck. So you've got the options between thin neck and fat neck. So that's wonderful too. Now this guitar now comes with a hard case. So it's also something else they didn't used to do, but now they're fitting them with hard cases, proper Gordon Smith hard cases, little branded hard case. And this guitar, oh goodness me, really, 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 really important thing. And this is another development that's really quite important. In there, it'll be hard to see, but you've got a truss rod adjuster in here. But now what you've got is a two-way truss rod system. And I'm not a tech, so I'm not going to try and pretend I know what I'm talking about. But basically, you've got two ways of flexing the neck now. So you can be putting in more relief and removing relief from the neck. So when you've got back bow or front bow, it's just as easy to rectify the problem. That's pretty much what it is. Whereas in the past, one of the things that was a common issue were the necks were very, 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 very straight, and sometimes it just wasn't possible to get the curvature, the relief that we were looking for in the neck of the guitar. A common frustration would have been, putting new strings on, thicker gauge of strings, or thinner strings, being able to adjust the fretboard when it was needed. That was quite a major issue for us in the past, or became quite a major issue towards later years. Having the two-way flexing truss rod, which is a new addition put in when Auden took over, that has a great impact on the ability for us to set the guitars up to how the customer wants it. So that's also another addition, very, very important. Price-wise, this particular guitar, with the gold hardware flame finish, is about just a smidgen over £900, and the two-way truss rod, so just over 900 quid. So if you imagine a handmade guitar made in Northampton, you can go and watch the guys building it. You can even supply them the colour, whatever you want, the neck thickness of your choice, pickups of your choice. If you don't want their pickups, which are fantastic, there's no reason why you wouldn't. These are hand wound pickups. Again, you can go and look at the bobbin machine that makes these pickups working. See your pickups being wound if you want to. If you don't want that, well, and you want your Seymour Duncan, Jeff Beck pickup, stick it in and just supply it to them, and they'll adjust the price. It really is completely. You get so much more customization and option, and I think there's something really, really, really important about supporting British business, and I don't mean me. I'm talking about me supporting them, guitar players, having a vested interest in playing British-made guitars. There's so many really great guitar builders in the UK, and it's really, really sad. I'll do a separate video on this. Just how, if you like, brainwashed we've been into buying mass-produced, Far Eastern-made products just because they have a brand on, which, you know, makes us feel good because our friends have got one. This is really important. To me, this is a big deal. British-made guitars, built to an incredibly high standard, made to your specification, that you will know has your your trademark personality in it because you've been involved in the process. Okay, so that's my big why I love Gordon Smith guitars video. I hope it's been of use, and let me know in the comments below, I suppose. Bye.